Okay, guys, big news if you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, support the 49ers fan, or like following them. Of course, recency news, former defensive coordinator, sucks to say, Demeco Ryan, after holding within the second best and number one ranked NFL defense for the past 2 seasons, Demeco Ryan will be missed. This is possibly the same helm of a consistent defensive form that the San Francisco 49ers have over the past several years. And this is coming from a former linebacker that, of course, had 2 All-Pro years in his NFL career. He's become a Pro Bowler before, former Defensive Rookie of the Year. And coming out of his experience over a disciplined front man-to-man 3-4 scheme, and he's efficiently had some natural defensive schemes that's kept defenses on their toes and kept the San Francisco 49ers to having back-to-back postseason years, nearly making it to the divisional round. And just accolades aside, possibly the coaching chain could change because we know a lot of off-season moves are done around near the Super Bowl or at the end of the Super Bowl, around for front office decisions, and we'll see the player moves done probably a week or 2 weeks after the Super Bowl's over. So we'll be seeing a lot of moves done, and that's possibly the biggest amount of headlines before the NFL season starts that keeps our interest up. Even with spring football being a thing now, you don't know what you're gonna get, and that always piques the NFL interest, and not always make it an every week thing like pro wrestling or basketball that's several months in. So you know the anticipation of who's gonna take over the reins, who's gonna play, who's gonna go somewhere. Just an excitement factor because the San Francisco 49ers have been at least a top rank rating defense for the past several seasons. It's been primordially of the reason why the Niners have been even consistent beforehand when Harbaugh was holding the helm with a massive talent. And just knowing that's a factor, there's already been some candidates over with former defensive coordinator for the Niners, Fargo. I think it's Vic Fangio, Steve Wilkes, that's been requested for a couple interviews. Chris Harris, the Niners issued to interview him, and falls into the mold that used to associate with Robert Saleh, Ijiro Avaro, and Chris Kukaroch that has been part of the Niners personnel that's had interest in being a defensive coordinator, being under the helm for the past couple of years. Or Corey Underlin, that's also been an interest for the Niners to pick up. Just any type of in-route personnel that's possibly been somewhat of a positional head coach, because it's not always going to be coming from another team that people are going to sketch out that are going to have a different personnel and mindset. They want to keep it kind of in the Niners umbrella so the scheme can possibly be different, but a bit of innovations to keep it under wraps to get that consistently. Because the Niners defense is a bit more efficient than the Niners offense, if you know what I mean. Still, quarterback situations are under the realm because we had Brock Purdy, even though he's been absolutely astounding in the second half of the season for the Niners and got some massive wins under his belt. Him tearing his UCL, I think, and played while injured, and just an undisciplined defense from the Niners. Undisciplined team in general, even fighting after the ball was even spiked over. The many tip balls, and just Purdy could barely even throw. And Jordan Jackson, that's his name, or James Jackson, he was a fourth string. What did you expect from him? Niners just got mollywopped, and obviously a source of consistency, possibly in the reins. A lot of people have been questioning that we should jackpot on the reins of trying to get a mobile quarterback, profit over to the draft, after literally trying to risk it on Trey Lance. If Garoppolo was willing to stay, and then Purdy just being that shard of hope to even get up to a Super Bowl appearance after such an amazing winning streak. So offseason is possibly the most curious, and if we're gonna keep Trey Law, if we're gonna extend Nick Bosa after a Defensive Player of the Year season, Christian McCaffrey's future possibly intact after a show-out performance after a smug of wasted potential in Carolina and just showing out to be a major backbone of the Niners offense. Debo, if he's still willing to stay, if we're going to keep Brandon Ayuk or Jawan Jennings, I think Ayuk would be a better option. I feel like a receiving core needs to be a bit more in depth than trying to risk it over trick plays. Attacking the running is obviously big, but we need to throw the ball deep and we need to garner yardage. Penalties is obviously a major issue with the Niners, sometimes off holding. So major concern overall this offseason for if you're a Niners fan. Be very stressed or enjoy the Super Bowl with your families. That's it from me. Thanks for watching the DC Show. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. If you want to hear other news or other topics involving entertainment or sports, subscribe. That's it for me. I'm going to bed.